If you've ever scrolled through your news feed and seen a viral video of a celebrity doing something outrageous, or read an article quoting a public figure in ways that seem just too wild to believe, only to later find out it was all fake, don't worry, you're not alone.
Welcome to AI Explored. AI Explored.
Greetings, listener, and welcome to another thought-provoking episode of AI Explored, the human's guide to the future. I'm your host, Jeremy, the same human who thought his smart home speaker was giving compliments, only to realize it was repeating motivational quotes from a self-help playlist, and who still flinches every time the vacuum cleaner starts up unannounced. In the world of tech, even the most innocent gadgets seem to have a knack for surprises. Artificial intelligence has come a long way, but as it gets more powerful, so do the ways it can be misused. Today, we're tackling an especially worrisome development: AI-generated disinformation. We're talking about fake news articles, deepfake videos, and AI-created audio clips that look, sound, and feel real, but are designed to deceive. These aren't just theoretical scenarios. They're already impacting politics, media, and how we understand the world around us. So why does this matter to you? Imagine a future where you can't trust the photos, videos, or even live speeches you see online. From viral celebrity scandals to fake political speeches that could spark real-world chaos, AI-generated disinformation is a tool that can sway public opinion and blur the lines between truth and lies. But don't worry, we're going to unravel this complex topic in a way that's easy to digest, like untangling your headphones after they've been in your pocket. Those were the days. It may seem like a tangled mess, but we'll pull out the threads one at a time to understand the real impact of these technologies and what's being done to fight back. In this episode, we'll explore how these AI tools are created, why they're so convincing, and what the tech industry, governments, and regular people like you and me are doing to counter them. We'll explore everything from facial recognition countermeasures to ethical AI development, making sure you're equipped to navigate this tricky terrain. And stick around till the end, because we'll even discuss some recent real-world incidents that will leave you questioning just how much of what you see and hear online can be trusted. It's a bit of a reality check, but one that comes with some hope for a safer, more trustworthy digital world. Strap in, adjust your headphones, and prepare for launch. Our mission to demystify AI starts now. First things first, let's establish what we're dealing with. Deepfakes are synthetic media generated by AI, where a person's likeness or voice is convincingly altered or entirely fabricated. These creations have become alarmingly realistic, making it difficult for the average person, or even experts, to distinguish truth from illusion. On the flip side, disinformation involves intentionally spreading false or misleading information to shape public perception. When AI-generated deepfakes are used as tools for disinformation, the result is a potent threat capable of undermining trust, spreading chaos, and destabilizing institutions. Let's dig into some striking real-world examples. Remember that deepfake of Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, where he appeared to boast about controlling people's data and shaping global narratives? It turned out to be a piece of art designed to highlight how technology can distort reality. Another high-profile incident occurred in Gabon, where a video of President Ali Bongo led to suspicions it might be a deep fake. It sparked political unrest, as opposition parties believed the president was incapacitated or even dead, exacerbating tensions in an already fragile political climate. These cases demonstrate how even the suspicion of a deepfake can have destabilizing consequences. So why is this especially worrying as we approach major political events like the 2024 elections? The stakes are enormous. In recent years, we've seen disinformation campaigns that use deepfakes to sow discord or amplify false narratives. For instance, in Brazil's 2022 presidential election, deepfake videos and manipulated audio clips circulated rapidly, creating confusion and deepening divisions. And it's not limited to politicians. Activists and journalists have also been targeted, with deepfakes used to discredit their work or even threaten their safety. Think about the implications beyond politics. Consider how deepfakes could be weaponized in legal contexts, such as fabricating evidence to sway jury opinions, or in corporate settings, where a convincing fake video of a CEO announcing false news could tank a company's stock price. Deepfakes have been misused to create non-consensual pornography, inflicting significant emotional and psychological harm on the individuals targeted. This democratization of this technology means almost anyone can become a victim, and the damage can be swift and enduring. What makes this issue so urgent is that deepfake technology is becoming more sophisticated and accessible. Open source platforms like Deepfakes Lab allow anyone with a computer and some technical know-how to create believable fakes. Meanwhile, disinformation campaigns have become more organized and strategic, often backed by state actors looking to disrupt democratic processes or fuel division in other countries. The combination of easy-to-use tools and motivated bad actors sets the stage for an information landscape where fiction is increasingly difficult to distinguish from fact. And it's not just in the West. In India, deepfakes have been employed in local elections to reach voters in multiple languages by altering the candidate's speech to sound native. While innovative, this raises ethical questions about consent and authenticity. It's clear that the proliferation of AI-generated deepfakes and disinformation is not just a problem for tech experts or politicians. It's an issue that can and will impact every one of us in some way, whether it's through the media we consume, the political decisions we make, or even our personal reputations. The ability to spread lies at scale with hyper-realistic accuracy poses questions about how we can preserve truth and trust in an increasingly digital world. Let's get into the mechanics of how this technology operates. At the heart of deepfake creation are AI models called GANs, or Generative Adversarial Networks. Here's how they function. Two neural networks, a generator and a discriminator, work in tandem. The generator creates synthetic media, like a fake image or video, while the discriminator evaluates the output to determine if it's real or fake. The two networks continue to train and challenge each other until the generated content becomes nearly indistinguishable from the real thing. It's a digital cat and mouse game that results in incredibly lifelike fabrications. Beyond altering visuals, AI technology is making leaps in voice synthesis. Voice cloning uses deep learning algorithms to replicate a person's voice, capturing the cadence, pitch, and nuances of their speech. Software like Resemble AI or Descript's Overdub can convincingly mimic voices, even generating emotional inflections. This combination of visual and audio manipulation means that an entire identity can be convincingly fabricated in digital form, posing immense risk to authenticity and security. When it comes to spreading false narratives through text, large language models like GPT-4 come into play. These models can generate news articles, social media posts, and even entire conspiracy theories, all written in ways that sounds authoritative and plausible. The language used can be tailored to target specific demographics, using emotionally charged rhetoric to evoke strong reactions or incite division. The sheer scale and efficiency with which these texts can be produced make disinformation campaigns more dangerous than ever. Imagine this scenario. A deepfake video shows a world leader declaring an emergency, and within minutes, social media is flooded with AI-generated news stories amplifying the message. The speed and coordination enabled by AI make disinformation campaigns far more effective and harder to combat. This isn't just theoretical. Think about the use of manipulated media during crises, where quick, believable disinformation can sway public perception and even influence policy decisions. What really raises the stakes is how easily these tools are now accessible. Creating a deepfake used to require advanced programming knowledge and high end computing power. Today, thanks to platforms like Deepfakes Lab, DID, and apps like Reface, the barriers have practically disappeared. If you have a laptop and an internet connection, you can create a shockingly realistic deepfake. This democratization isn't inherently bad. There are creative and beneficial applications. However, it also means bad actors have unprecedented opportunities to exploit these tools for nefarious purposes. Let's talk about how this accessibility has led to an explosion of disinformation content. Social media platforms are flooded with AI manipulated media that can be produced on a massive scale. For example, AI image generators like Midjourney and DALL-E make it easy to create fake protest images or doctored news photos, which can go viral before fact checkers have a chance to intervene. Even audio disinformation is on the rise, with tools like 11 Labs allowing anyone to produce convincing fake recordings that could sway opinions or even frame individuals for crimes they didn't commit. What's particularly alarming is the impact this could have on trust. If people know that any video or audio clip they see could be fake, it breeds a sense of skepticism and confusion. We risk entering the post-truth era, where the line between fact and fiction is blurred beyond recognition. This could lead to widespread distrust in media, erode democratic institutions, and complicate efforts to hold people accountable for their words and actions. To give you a sense of scale, consider a case of political operatives creating fake videos to mislead voters. A simple deep fake showing a candidate making inflammatory remarks could go viral just days before an election, tipping the scales unfairly. Or think about how deep fakes could be used in cyber scams. Imagine a clone voice of your boss asking you to transfer funds to a fake account. The potential for harm is vast, and we're only beginning to understand the ramifications. Let's examine some striking examples of how AI-generated disinformation has been used to sway political outcomes. Take the recent elections in Slovakia, where AI-driven campaigns disseminated manipulated content to undermine candidates. In one high-profile incident, a deepfake video showed a prominent candidate endorsing extremist policies, which led to a surge of public backlash and altered the course of the campaign. These tactics weren't just isolated incidents. They were part of coordinated efforts to create confusion and influence voter sentiment. And this isn't confined to Slovakia or Europe at large. The upcoming 2024 elections in the United States are expected to face similar threats. Disinformation specialists are already warning about the use of AI-generated content to amplify divisive narratives or fabricate damaging stories about political figures. Imagine how quickly a convincing deep fake could spread on social media, creating a tidal wave of misinformation that's difficult to contain. Even a few minutes of delay in fact-checking could mean irreversible damage to a candidate's reputation. We've also seen how AI-generated content can be weaponized beyond elections. Think about how disinformation campaigns have targeted activists, journalists, and even entire communities, spreading fabricated evidence to discredit or intimidate them. The scale and ease with which this technology can be deployed have made it a powerful tool for political and social manipulation, with consequences that reverberate far beyond the digital realm. But the real danger goes deeper than individual lies or fake videos. No pun intended. The most insidious threat of AI disinformation is the erosion of trust in public institutions. When every piece of content can potentially be fabrication, people start to question everything they see or hear. This culture of doubt can destabilize the core principles of democratic governance, making it increasingly difficult to hold leaders accountable or maintain a shared sense of truth. Consider how this plays out in real-world scenarios. If citizens no longer trust the results of an election, even when it's conducted fairly, the legitimacy of the entire democratic process is compromised. Similarly, when journalism, the fourth estate meant to keep power in check, loses credibility due to AI manipulated disinformation, holding governments and corporations accountable becomes almost impossible. The line between truth and lies becomes so blurred that society itself risks fragmentation. One clear example is how AI-driven disinformation can erode trust in healthcare. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw a surge of AI-generated falsehoods, from fake vaccine studies to fabricated statements attributed to health officials. These disinformation campaigns sowed doubt and hesitancy, contributing to public health challenges. The same mechanisms of trust erosion could be used in future crises, whether they're public health emergencies, economic downturns, or geopolitical conflicts. The stakes are incredibly high. We're not just talking about minor disruptions, but fundamental threats to societal cohesion. When people lose trust in institutions, governance becomes more difficult, and societal bonds start to fray. That's why it's crucial to address AI disinformation comprehensively, from technology solutions to policy and public awareness. So how do we combat this digital deception? One cutting-edge approach comes from Google DeepMind, which is developing a technology called SynthID. This tool embeds invisible watermarks directly into AI-generated images, making it possible to detect whether a piece of content is authentic or artificially produced. These watermarks are imperceptible to the human eye, but can be identified by AI detection systems. As the lines between real and synthetic content blur, tools like SynthID could become crucial for maintaining trust in digital media. And it's not just Google. Companies like Adobe are working on similar solutions. Adobe's Content Authenticity Initiative aims to track and verify the origins of digital content, providing creators and consumers with more transparency. By incorporating metadata that details an image's creation and editing history, these tools could help verify whether an image or video has been manipulated. Imagine a future where every piece of digital content comes from a verifiable trail, making it easier to differentiate between truth and fabrication or art. These technologies could play a vital role in countering disinformation campaigns, especially in high-stake areas like political media or crises reporting. For instance, imagine a breaking news story accompanied by a flood of AI-generated images designed to spread panic or misinformation. Having the ability to quickly and accurately identify which images are real and which are fake could prevent chaos and protect public trust. Another key piece of the puzzle is regulation. Governments and tech companies are actively discussing how to create policies that keep up with AI's rapid evolution. One widely discussed idea is mandating that platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok label AI-generated content clearly, so users are always aware when they're viewing synthetic media. This would introduce an element of transparency and empower people to make informed judgments about the content they consume. The European Union is already leading the way with its AI Act, which aims to set global standards for AI governance. It introduces provisions for labeling AI-generated content and holds companies accountable for the responsible use of AI. Meanwhile, countries like the United States are grappling with how to balance innovation with regulation. The challenge is creating rules that are flexible enough to adapt as the technology evolves, but robust enough to mitigate the real-world harms we're seeing. But regulation isn't enough on its own. This is a global issue, and it requires a coordinated, multi-stakeholder approach. Governments, tech companies, AI researchers, and civil societies must work together to establish ethical guidelines and policies. Collaboration is crucial to ensure that the measures we take are both effective and fair. For instance, tech companies could share best practices and research data to create more sophisticated and comprehensive defenses against AI disinformation. One thing we have to be careful of is not stifling technological innovation. Striking the right balance between regulation and innovation is tricky. Too many restrictions could hinder the development of beneficial AI technologies, while too few could allow harmful applications to flourish unchecked. The goal should be to create a framework that protects society while still fostering creativity and progress. Finally, let's talk about one of the most powerful weapons we have against AI disinformation: education. Media literacy is more important now than ever before. We need to give people the tools to recognize when they're being manipulated, whether it's through a deepfake video or a misleading AI generated article. Programs that teach critical thinking and digital literacy can make a world of difference, especially as AI becomes more embedded in our daily lives. Think about how transformative it would be if everyone knew how to spot telltale signs of AI manipulation, like unnatural facial movements in a deepfake or inconsistencies in an AI generated news article. Schools, community organizations, and even online platforms could play a role in rolling out comprehensive media literacy programs. It's about making people less susceptible to disinformation and more equipped to navigate an increasingly complex digital landscape. Some countries are already making strides in this area. Finland, for example, has been praised for its comprehensive media literacy program aimed at combating fake news and disinformation. This curriculum includes lessons on how to critically analyze news stories and recognize manipulated content, and it's showing real results. Imagine if more countries adopted similar approaches, equipping the next generation with the skills needed to discern fact from fiction. Education is a long-term solution, but it's one that could have the most enduring impact. After all, even the most advanced AI detection tools won't be effective if people don't know how to use or interpret them. By fostering a culture of skepticism and informed analysis, we can empower society to fight back against AI disinformation. It's about giving people the knowledge and confidence to question what they see and hear, ensuring that truth has a fighting chance in the digital age. As AI technology continues to evolve, so does the sophistication of disinformation tactics. We're heading into a new era where deepfakes and AI-generated falsehoods become nearly impossible to distinguish from reality. Imagine a world where fabricated news reports, seamlessly doctored videos, and convincing false narratives can be generated on demand, spreading like wildfire across social media. It's a daunting prospect, but don't despair. Detection technologies are racing to keep up. We'll have to stay one step ahead to navigate this evolving landscape. For example, AI-assisted journalism is emerging as a critical tool. These advanced systems can sift through and analyze content, flagging disinformation, and even providing evidence to debunk false claims. Think of it as a digital ally in the battle for truth, where AI doesn't just create problems, but also helps to solve them. The goal is a high-tech tug-of-war between creators of false narratives and defenders of truth. Political manipulation is likely to be the most high-stakes arena. Picture a hyper-realistic deepfake emerging days before a major election, showing a candidate making outrageous remarks or confessing to crimes. Even if fact-checkers debunk it swiftly, the damage to public perception could be irreversible. We've seen how these tactics have been tested and deployed, from elections in Slovakia to concerns about upcoming U.S. races. The integrity of our democratic processes is on the line, and the stakes couldn't be higher. So how do we defend against this? One approach is to deploy AI-driven detection systems that can act immediately, identifying and flagging false content. Social media platforms must also step up, improving transparency around political ads and enhancing content moderation. Governments could assemble rapid response teams to manage disinformation crises in real time, working hand in hand with tech companies and independent watchdogs. A coordinated, multifaceted strategy is our best hope. So what do you think? Have you ever stumbled upon AI-generated disinformation or a deep fake in your feed? Did it make you question everything you were seeing? And as we look toward future elections, do you feel hopeful or worried about AI's role? Your insights and experiences could make a real difference in how we approach this growing challenge. Head over to humanguide.ai or connect with us on social media at human guide to AI. Whether you've encountered a hilarious but unsettling fake video, have ideas for safeguarding digital truth, or concerns about AI's impact, your input is invaluable. Let's build a community that's resilient, informed, and prepared for whatever the digital future has in store. Thanks for tuning in to AI Explored, the human's guide to the future. I'm Jeremy, your ever-curious human navigator, still staying ahead of deepfake mischief, and thankfully not yet outwitted by my smart fridge. Until next time, stay curious, keep dreaming expansively, and never cease to explore. Remember, the future isn't pre-written, it's crafted by our collective imagination, one episode at a time.